Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Happy Wednesday. Ooh, wow, that looks like shit. I always hate when it comes in the full frame. My head look big. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Wednesday Midnight Express. Didn't have enough time today to put together a structure show. I am working for some things on the store that I will be announcing. It'll have more to do with people who are here locally in Las Vegas than anything else, but it's something that's kind of really important that I've been working on for a while. So, but it is crucial to the retail operation of things, and it took a little bit more time today than I really had. So here's a generic show for you. This weekend we're going to be doing some streaming. We're probably going to do, like I mentioned last night, a Man of Steel screening for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. We'll have those links up and have that ready. More than likely, it will be Sunday afternoon when we do that. Don't know if we're going to be doing anything on Saturday, and I haven't made a final decision on whether I'm going to add 2025 Superman since it will be available Friday. So it depends on how I feel. The campaign, I went ahead and linked the PayPal link up there. The campaign is sort of closed, but once again, if you have a ridiculous movie you want me to watch, I just kept it open. If you have a really good movie you want to watch, you can use the same link and just name your amount, and depending on what the movie is, we may do it. All right, I am not going to review any comics from this stream. I will only do comic reviews from the center because that's where my comics are. And I have not read that version. I don't believe I've read that Chip Zdarsky version. So, but no, I'm not going to do any comic reviews during the nightly shows like this. I try to keep those for the actual center themselves because that's where my comic books are. When I first joined the Army, how did they allow other college graduates or people? Sniper school is something you had to do from 11 Bravo infantry. That's generally, something that was an add-on special skill to that. Hold on for a second. All right. Let's see. But yeah, 11. I mean, sniper school is, like I said, it's a designation, but I'm pretty sure that it's a designation of an extension of 11 Bravo. You can go to sniper school though. I don't think you have to be 11 Bravo, but I think that's primarily where they draw them from. But there is a sniper school, and I think Fort Bragg. That I think all the forces go to that same sniper school. But I was never a sniper, so I could tell you. Let's see. There's the link if you want to do that. How are you doing, Hal Jordan? Yep, please like, subscribe, and share. Do all that stuff. Superman Saga. What are we talking about? I heard this somewhere else today. Why would I have not been paying attention online. Let me see what this. Why this is trending anywhere. Oh, okay. This is about James Gunn Superman. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm just getting past the current movie, so there you go. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Doing multitasking here. Damn it. T. Elevators. Okay. How you doing, Larry? What's going on? I saw F4 today a second time. Gave it 9 out of 10 for now. Leaning towards 10 out of 10. Yeah, listen. I love Fantastic Four. I was that was my most anticipated movie of the summer, and it did not let me down. Hello, Kangaroo. What's buzzing? Hilarious. Ooh. Hello, Jogo. What's going on? Yeah, Paramount is going to be doing The Last Roman in live action. No, I have not seen Bring Her Back yet. I heard about Eddington, but I just haven't had a chance to see it. I mean, I made time to go see Weapons, and you see how that went. Oh, duck. Are you talking about the Independent, the fan film that's out there? Well, Sniper School is not an MOS. It's a designation. It's a skill. You know, you can be any MOS and be a sniper, but they're primarily, from what I understand, in the cav or in the infantry, which is the cavalry. Yeah, you can go to, like I said, generally they don't. It costs money to send people to those schools, so they just generally save it for the people. We're still about the same 3,000, 3,500, I think, Larry. Yeah, I need to catch up on Star Trek. I've been behind. I got too much going on right now. Is Sweet Revenge a fan film or is it canon? Thank you, William P. Eddington. It's a fictional story, but the setting is real. It says a lot. It doesn't take one side or the other, similar to The Boys. see where I'm at here. Don't know if I'm going to have a co-host tonight. Who knows? Let me see. Nope, doesn't look like it. This is going to be a really quick stream because I didn't want to go Wednesday without one. I did not see this movie, Anthony. Well, you guys are asking me a bunch of questions of things I don't know about or haven't seen. Sorry. Brad's getting concussions from the kids because they're getting bigger and kicking harder. Well, then they'll be adults. And no, I have not. It's in my queue. Let's see, redevelopment. All right. So. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on nobody. Just don't have the time. Okay, anything go on today worth even talking about? I mean, the Superman thing is not a big deal for me because that's so far away. Let's see. Just scrolling through. I haven't even watched Dynamite yet. I saw bits and pieces of it. Has anybody? What was Red Sonja? What platform was Red Sonja on? I know it was released in theaters, but I also know. I also know it was a director streaming. It is. Where can you watch it? Was it on Amazon? Even if you watch one episode of Wednesday, on Wednesday, you'll be right. It'll give you a month to rewatch the scene. Hold on, I got people texting me at the same time. So there you go. No, I have not seen Warfare. That's Al Garden, the same guy who did Civil War. Let me know when you want to do it, Larry. Like I said, I have this weekend open. The only thing I have going right now is we're gonna do the AFSP thing this weekend. I did not see Outlaw Johnny Beck. Wow, I'm batting 1,000. Sorry, guys. I have not seen any of the stuff that you're hating at me. Let's see, where is it at? Yep, wrong. Switching. Let's see. Sorry. Shin Godzilla. I saw that at Comic-Con. Aliens. Some of the aliens that they had in the original series, like the UFOs that controlled Mechagodzilla. Wow, I'm so behind on everything. Oh my god! I just looked at my queue. That's a mystery to me because with other movies, higher tier movies going to streaming sooner, I'm surprised that they kept that one in there. Because it having legs in theaters doesn't really do much for the people who paid to have the movie made. So I'm curious of why that's in there. They have a mouth for the same reason dogs have mouths. Necessarily, dogs don't just eat with their mouths; they pick up things with their mouths. They defend themselves with their mouths. The constitution of a xenomorph doesn't require food or waste. It's like it's blood, it's acid. It has everything it needs within its constitution. It really doesn't need to eat. And if you notice, they don't really chew on anything. That inner mouth is for attack only. I mean, when do you see them eating anything? Whenever you see the xenomorph use its inner mouth, it's to bust through something, to bust through a skull or to injure or damage somebody. So they really don't eat. I can't. They tear things up, and if they, like I said, when you look at last night, that xenomorph ripped up everything and didn't eat anything. He used his tail and his claws and his teeth to tear all those people up and just left them there. So they're designed to kill. They're designed to be hostile against anything that is not them. And even in some cases, they've been shown to be hostile against each other. No, I have not. I got them all at the store, but I have not. I don't. There's about a handful of comics that I able, as soon as they come out, I sit down and read, and everything else I just try to review as much as possible. Xenomorphs have hands, but they're not designed they're not a part of a food chain. They can exist without food for forever. You know, they don't require food. They don't really require oxygen. They don't require anything. They don't have a digestive process that does anything. They're weapons. They're weapons. That's what they are. Have you seen pictures of those wild rabbits with some sort? Yeah, kind of grossing me out. I don't know what the hell it is. As soon as I send shit like that on like these little videos and stuff, most of it's AI, but some of it's real. I just usually click off of it. When have you seen the meeting? And they are literally they are fueled by their own blood. They are literally their own energy sources. And that's another thing. A mouth is part of usually what they have adapted themselves from. Almost every species that you see a xenomorph coming out of has had a mouth. But that doesn't mean that they use it for eating. They don't need food. Think of something that had battery acid for blood. It's basically a battery. No, that the xenomorph, the chest burster that comes out is gonna grow no matter what. They don't need food to grow. They are designed as a killing machine. Machines don't need to eat. Like I said, the synthoids they have mouths too. They don't need to eat, and they weren't eating the ship. The acid was burning through the ship. There's a lot of people that's a decades old argument about Deckard being a human or a replicant. Yeah, but that's by design. It's programmed to do that. The drones are instinctively programmed to hunt down. They have two purposes: to kill and to help the queen procreate. The queen procreates. They do not. They facilitate it. They have no eggs. They lay no eggs. Their job is to instinctively kill, and there's some ancestral thing about them that lets them know when it's time to bring a live person to an egg. Generally, if there is proximity to an egg, it depends on how many eggs there are. If there is 5 eggs and 20 people, then 15 people are going to die, and the 5 are going to be exposed to the egg. And the drone knows to do that. Yeah, but what have you seen the meat? They use that mouth for attack. They use that mouth to rip things apart and punch through things. That's what that mouth is for. There's no chewing apparatus, in the entire design of the xenomorph. What's up?
Hello, everybody.
Paradise Hotel was horrible, but
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make that one. It was the one that Perp wanted to do, and I would have loved to have joined, but yeah, I think it's time. Just see how the chips fell this time.
William, are you on the side of the fence when it comes? Oh yeah, I believe that Ridley Scott meant for him to be a replicant, and there's no doubt. I think it's a step.
You mean Deckard?
Deckard, yeah, Deckard is a replicant. I think more as the years go on, the argument against it is silly. But hey, let's see, Australian, how was? You guys are talking about Nolan. Question: do you think every movie needs to have a character depth like The Godfather, or can there just be, or can it just be they're normal people where you can? Well, it depends on it. I mean, that's going to differ from every movie, Chappie. That's going to differ from one script to another and what type of movie it is. Some movies need character development. Some movies need the main character development. You have people in the periphery. So that's a really hard question to answer because it's going to depend on the movie. Vitamin water provides hydration and added vitamins, but many varieties contain high levels of sugar, which can lead to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Yeah, the one I use is clear of all that. My physician actually recommends the stuff I drink. So thank you though. Let's see. Yeah, now Godzilla, I believe, eats fish. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah,
but I don't believe he needs to.
Yeah, he doesn't eat humans. They just, it's just a case of just don't, just don't be, just get out of his way, basically.
Yeah, because his irradiated physiology gives him everything he needs.
Yeah. But it's interesting too. We're actually getting some tidbits, but the Godzilla -1 sequel. It's like apparently Mecha Godzilla. There's speculation he might be part of that. So curious about that. I love Mecha Godzilla. He's probably.
I love Mecha Godzilla, but I don't. In -1, are we doing this in the 80s and 90s? Are we time jumping?
Well,
if we're not time jumping, that's stupid.
They have said like when it's supposed to be set, and
yeah, we're doing if we're doing a contemporary Godzilla -1, which is kind of close to what we're already doing.
You could. I mean, you could do kind of like 85, where it's like, oh, we thought we killed him, and then he comes back 30 years later.
Yeah, if they're doing a time jump, then yeah. But I just saw a Mecha Godzilla. I don't need to see another one anytime soon, and I definitely don't need to see a World War. If you're telling me that this is still in the 50s, then yeah, I don't need to see Mecha Godzilla for a while. Plus, I just wait for that.
What kaiju would you want to see in the next -1?
I wouldn't mind. Was he
like
Ghidorah
or?
I'd be honest with you. To be honest with you, I think that the people who are doing -1 should create their own.
Well, see, the challenge also about that is that -1's probably one of the. I can't think of any Godzilla movies that have frankly portray Godzilla as this much of an asshole. So it's how do you create a scenario where he's the good guy, or he's fighting other monsters to save Japan?
If I'm them, they have an opportunity to not necessarily copy other kaiju. There'd be no problem. They are Toho. They can create kaiju, and whatever kaiju they create are canon. So I would not use one that's been overused and used. I would do something. I would come up with something different. They have the opportunity to. They have the credibility to, because they are the standard bearers when it comes to Godzilla. So I would say something new. If you were to ask me what kind of kaiju I'd want to see, doesn't Alien Earth retcon Prometheus? No, it does not. No, it does not. Nothing currently involved in Aliens retcons anything in Alien, unless you're talking about EVP and all the other mess.
Actually, this weekend we got the new Shin Godzilla out.
So. Yeah, they showed that. They were showing promos of that. Never been a fan of Shin Godzilla. I just don't like the design of the creature.
Well, because he's basically he's like an electric eel, basically.
I call him Vomit Godzilla.
Yeah. Yeah, he is definitely the least photogenic, maybe is the way to put it, Godzilla.
Let's see.
See, Hal Jordan says, I think Godzilla is more interesting than Kong. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It depends on who you are, though. There's a lot of people like that.
Well, like when they did the original King Kong version, because that was only the third Godzilla movie, and there was this long-standing rumor that the Japanese version had Godzilla win, and the American version had King Kong win, which that's not the case. At the time, actually, King Kong was a more popular character in Japan than even Godzilla was, because Godzilla was still kind of getting his footing at the time.
That design for for King Kong in those movies is atrocious.
Oh, they're really goofy, like oh, like the Kong with electric
like
powers.
a orangutan.
Yeah. That movie. That's one reason why it's so. I'm so glad they did. We've now done 2 Godzilla and Kong movies in the MonsterVerse, and it's go back and watch the original. That has, if there is a Godzilla movie that has not aged well, it's got to be the original King Kong versus Godzilla.
Speaking of bad Godzilla movies, he may like fish, but according to everything I've seen, he eats he doesn't really need to because you can't really kill
off the radioactivity.
Yeah, the radioactivity is what gives him what he needs to live. So, but he instinctively, as a carnivorous lizard, is probably going to eat fish. Let's see, Senators 10 out of 10. Close for me. I think that would be a bad idea, and like even if you're going to do a time jump, you just had Mecha Godzilla, and there's not much difference to the character. I think you could do, and you would just be doing it just to check off boxes. I don't think Godzilla -1 is about checking off boxes. They have shown that they are not a typical Godzilla movie. Even if you put it up to against the classic stuff, it's a different movie, and there's no need for them to do that. I mean, when it comes to a legendary, those type of movies that they're kind of making for big mass appeal, big bang, that's a different story altogether. But when you're talking about -1, you really should be methodical in how you do those movies, because you have an opportunity to reestablish Godzilla as something different than anything else, while also being recognizable as what he is. So no, I would stay away from
related, or we're not related, but William will probably appreciate this news today. 17th birthday of Tropic Thunder.
If they're not making a sequel, fuck it. That's the last comedy movie I saw. It'll probably be the next comedy movie I saw.
Well, see, the thing about it is, like, I always kind of, it's kind of, I thought it'd be the thing I thought would be cool out of that is like do those like those in-universe trailers they show in it. I thought it'd be cool, like take some of those, like kind of run with it, like the Scorcher that Ben Stiller's character is, like the post-apocalyptic Scorcher ones. I thought those kind of look cool. So like do something with that.
I don't want to. The only spinoff I want from Tropic Thunder
is Les Grossman.
That's it. All those other ones. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so hilarious. To this day, I can remember my audience just rolling in the aisles of with Tom Cruise. I don't think he'd F-bombed that much too by that point in his career either.
No, and I didn't recognize him at first. AI could say I'm 7'5". I mean, I've never seen him eat, and that's why they say they're perfect origin. They don't need anything. They're just there to kill. I mean, they're not there they don't hunt for food. They hunt because they were designed to kill everything around them that was not them, and then to assist in procreation. Those are their 2 functions. There is no other function for the xenomorph. Let's see.
Oh, did you talk about that thing I DM'd you earlier? Yes.
Nah, because I don't have any thoughts on it. I meant to return. I have no thoughts on it, because that's an abstract response from him that could lead to absolutely nothing, or whatever it would lead to would be way down the line.
For those of you who don't know, it's I DM'd one because James Gunn was asked about will Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn in DCU, and I think it was Entertainment Weekly he was talking to, and his soundbite was says that will be revealed down the line, which that's definitely very non-committal or non-revelatory. I mean, I did find the phrasing a little bit interesting, like the whole down the line thing, and also we got Peace. I'm really curious too, with because the Peacemaker season 2 premiere happened today. Because I've never been to one of these things. Maybe I'll need to ask some colleagues about it. But when they do a premiere for a series, like a red carpet premiere, like how does that work? Like what do they? I mean, they don't show the whole show, so they just show like the first 2 episodes or something.
Yeah, they just show the first episode or 2.
Okay.
They don't show the whole show.
Yeah, because and of course he had another quote where he talked about this is pretty much what I was kind of saying. My theory is that Peacemaker is the one that kind of sets Superman as a Superman movie. It gets you get a little bit of like the feel of the world and some of the other characters in it, and you also got a little bit out of Creature Commandos. But Peacemaker is what it's basically like the nuts and bolts of it are kind of this is where that's all going to be unveiled. So And it's interesting. He taught. I think the quote is something like he said this is almost like the proudest of anything he's ever made, or like the most fun he had of anything he's ever made with Peacemaker season 2. So, and we are now what about? God, we're getting close. We're like a week away from those first episode. So here we go. Seeing what the whole 100 universes and all that jazz is all about.
Let's see. F1 Days of Thunder. Not something I'm particularly looking forward to. I wasn't the biggest fan of Days of Thunder. F1 was good, but it's not something I watched out of the theater like, wow, I need a crossover to this movie from 25 years ago. No. Margot Robbie is going to be there. I'm not worried about that. And Idris Elba, John Cena's chemistry. That, like I said, I heard smatterings of this, and I just didn't care. I just didn't care. Sorry, guys.
And that Prime Video movie. Oh, what was it? Because I still haven't watched it yet, but the one with John Cena recently, what that's called. Apparently, it was good look.
No, I did not. But she needs to get healthy first. Didn't she tear her knee up? We already got. I don't know what kind of fit she would be. There's a lot of women right now in that federation. Let's see.
Heads of state. Thank you, Anthony. I keep meaning to pull this up, and yeah,
I saw a trailer for that, and yeah, pass.
Apparently, what was it? War of the Worlds with Ice Cube. That has really not been received well. Apparently,
No, I heard it's horrible.
yeah, and I swear that one little thumbnail of him, I kept seeing that across my timeline. I swear I thought that was Jordan Peele. Every time I saw a picture of him, I thought it was Jordan Peele.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. It looks horrible. They have cut a lot of cop shows on Prime Video. All right, there's not a lot going on. I'm feeling it in the chat right now.
Yeah,
I did not have time to put together a topic show because I got something going on. That
yeah. I mean, it was
in my day.
I mean, it was like the gun comments. That's probably like the most news we got really today on anything.
To be quite honest with you, though, and this is not necessarily a good or bad thing either way. My mind is kind of tired of hearing James Gunn's name. It's just nothing against him. Nothing against him. Nothing against his work. Nothing.
I mean, we're doing a watch party of his Superman movie pretty soon, aren't we? So.
Possibly, but as far as like all the other stuff, I think that whenever I hear according to James Gunn or according to sources and it's James Gunn, my mind shuts down because we've been talking about it. And we've been putting nuclear powered conversation to something that just doesn't have that kind of power. We have one movie and we have Peacemaker coming up and we have a whole bunch of other speculation. Most of it's not even from him. That's the thing is most of it's, not even from him. It's from, Robin has been casted and all this. It's like, oh my God. It's just like, it's gotten to the point where I scroll right past it. Just like that stupid ass meme with Superman with the tongue out. As soon as I see that meme, I know that there's not going to be any intelligent conversation being had there. I hate that fucking meme. Scroll right past it. So yeah, I've been pretty much, I don't think it's time to mute James Gunn yet, but it's getting close. I'm just like today him talking about Margot Robbie, that's the most non-answer because there's nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? So anytime he says something, it's going to be polarized and everybody's going to gather around it like pigeons to breadcrumbs when generally there's nothing, the next big thing he's going to be doing, maybe Peacemaker. And then after that, then we'll see Supergirl. But
because the comment was, I
just don't care.
The one comment was like, I've started writing like the next chapter in the Superman saga. He didn't say what it is, but he just said like the next, whatever it's going to be. And of course that's the rumor mill or the speculation mill or chatter mill, just completely overdrive.
Yeah, and the next time I'll actually give a shit about what he's writing is when he announces the project. Why would I chase my tail about some vague shit like that? There's nothing to chase. There's no tail. There's literally no tail to chase when it comes to this stuff. And all rumors and speculation. And we've been batting 1,000 of that the last 4 or 5 years. So now, when James Gunn announces what he's doing, then to me, then there's something to talk about. But I've been writing this. I've been writing Peter Cottontail, and people are going to be, oh, I wonder who's going to be. I'm like, I just don't feel like I'm exhausted when it comes to with this guy. I'm just exhausted. And I'm not, like I said, that's not a knock against him, but there's nothing to talk about. But we find ways to talk about nothing. There's no quality in the content at that point. It's just rumors and speculation and bullshit. And then, like I said, I'm just like, yeah, isn't there anything else going on that actually has bones to it? Actually has a carcass to it.
Well, I mean, there's something Aaron and I are looking forward to with the
that people know about.
That's going to have a sold out audience that night, and it's going to get a standing ovation.
Okay,
that's it's happening. I mean, it's a concrete thing. It's happening.
If this were a martial arts channel, I might give a fuck, but it's not.
There's no. I will not allow this channel to exist without us doing a watch party of that.
You better. You better take me up on my offer to do your own show, because I ain't talking about that shit on here.
This will be getting a watch party. I 1,000% guarantee, guys.
Let's see.
Well, a little bit of a personal kind of
yeah, I don't know about all this.
Oh yeah, I saw the Noah Centineo, I think, is going to be
Lost Me at prequel. Lost Me at prequel.
I mean, Sly is kind of. I mean, you ain't getting any younger.
Yeah, but here's the thing. At certain franchises, they had their time in the light, and Rambo has had decades in the light. Let's come up with something else. Let's come up with a new idea. Let's do the same thing that the person who created Rambo did. Actually come up with an idea. Tired of these fucking prequels and remakes. What do we? You guys get paid millions and or at least hundreds of thousands to come up with new ideas. Enough Rambo.
I'd be down for it. But meanwhile,
like I said, I have higher demands for people who create talent, and that's lazy. As soon as fucking John Wick can't do John Wick anymore, we're gonna get some other skinny dude with long hair, and we're gonna drive that horse into the ground. I mean, if you can't create, get the fuck out of the game.
John Wick is batting 1,000. John Wick is absolutely
Keanu Reeves is batting 1,000 as John Wick. Once John Wick's train, once that train lands or it's done. It's done. Come up with a new idea.
Yeah, they got a couple. They got Kane, and Ballerina.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna fly.
That will absolutely fly.
I have low prospects.
I would bet tonight that
your bias would bet tonight. Math. I mean, I love Ballerina, but look what that did.
Kane. Well, guys, I would bet this.
What? Okay.
Kane will. I'm telling you, Kane. That's going to be something.
That's going to be something you like.
It's going to be something a lot of people like.
No, okay. More or less people than like Ballerina?
More. Based on more.
Okay, never mind.
The fact that he's in the highest earning John Wick movie.
This is not a serious conversation.
He's a breakout character from the highest earning.
There is no breakout character from John Wick. The only breakout character from John Wick is John Wick. That's been proven so far.
The $400 million.
Is Keanu Reeves going to be in 90% of this fucking movie?
That's irrelevant to this.
Yes, it is relevant.
It's only irrelevant.
It just proved relevant.
It's he's in the highest earning one. He's a breakout character.
This is why we don't fucking talk kung fu and shit on this channel, because it goes nowhere.
I am going to brag about that when it does so well.
Okay, yeah. Are you getting a check from these people?
You
sound like one of these fucking fanboys.
I will call in and get that residual.
What are your reports on the plots that really came out? The studio drop cut Alan Tudyk, I think Alan Tudyk from the marketing, and the movie completely from iRobot because he tested better than Will Smith. Happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw this floating around.
Alan Tudyk wasn't the star of iRobot.
Well, God, it's been so long since I saw that movie. And
it's in 21 years.
But was he the robot again? You gotta refresh my memory. Okay. Well, but he wasn't cut out of the. I mean, the robot's all over the movie.
No, they cut him out of the promo. They say that the studio dropped Alan Tudyk out of the marketing because for my robot they could have better. If that's true, so what?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't feel because I remember the trailers. I didn't feel like he was. I mean, Will Smith definitely dominated the marketing, but
Well, Will Smith is the star.
because yeah.
He's the
So,
star.
but I didn't feel like I mean, when your title is iRobot, I mean, you have to have some kind of presence of the robot in the marketing, and I didn't feel like the robot was
Not really.
kept in the background.
I wouldn't have cared.
He wasn't kept in the background. I mean, I mean, they use that scene heavily of like, I did not murder him, all over the place.
He's slamming down on thing. That's all I need to see. The star. I'm not going to the. I'm sorry, Alan Tudyk. I love you, man. I respect you. I'm not going to the movie to see you. You don't need to be part of the market.
Well, I'm just questioning. Like, I just question the thesis of like that he was shortchanged in the marketing because I just don't. I just recall the trailers and the posters and the marketing really had him again. Will Smith was like in the spotlight,
but none of that stuff was going to be attached to Alan Tudyk, though. I mean, nobody's going to be like, "Oh, wow, damn it! I mean, I need more of Alan Tudyk in that trailer." Probably half the people 20 years ago didn't even know who he was, like they do know him now. So it's like,
yeah, here's a good one from Antonio's giving you the sequel to Speed. I love the first Speed. The second one kind of sucked. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think the first
another franchise that needs to die.
Well, I wouldn't even call it that. I mean, it's one classic and one not classic. So.
And I don't need a prequel to Speed. Come on, if you count, all right, guys, if you go into the office and the word prequel is in your paperwork or in your thumb drive, just turn around and go. Do Hollywood a favor, just turn around and leave. Come up with a new idea, man. I mean, the people who you're copying did. You have way more at your disposal than your predecessors, and all we're getting is reboots and remakes and reimagining. It's like, oh fuck.
Well, I mean,
let's go get a younger version of this guy that's been around 30 years because we just did
a watch party of our prequel last night.
That's a little bit different. You know why? Because you're talking about a mythology that's a little bit different when you're talking about Rambo. There's so many dimensions you're coming into the alien lore at this point. Rambo, you're going to see John Rambo. All right. And it's like, I got to see John Rambo. I got to see him. And dude, his last two movies were actually pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, the underground part in the Last Blood. Yeah, I love that.
The Burma, when he's wiping those fools out with that
yeah,
50 cal in Burma, that was good.
And he's wiping fools out. Those dudes are turned like blood. They turn to blood with that.
Yeah, they liquefy. But once again, I don't want a franchise. Some franchise can go on forever. This is not exclusive to every franchise. But there are some franchises that are like, we got the mileage out of that. We got the mileage out of that. Let's we don't, when we got to start recasting people to play another character, and I'm like, all right, let's come up with something else. Get a couple more writers in the room and let's come up with something else. Not everything needs to be rebooted. Not everything needs to be reimagined. Maybe you just need to imagine. Take the re out of it and just actually imagine something. I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, wow. It's just like I said, somebody who grew up with Rambo and Sylvester Stallone being in every damn thing ever, we got our fill of Rambo. I don't want to see a Rocky prequel either. Don't want to see a Rocky prequel. All right, you come in there with a Rocky. Hey, boss, I gotta. This is what happened before. No. Turn around, leave, and come back when you have a new idea. People are wondering why cinema and all these things are declining. Is because there's no new ideas. That not all of it, but partially is because there's no new ideas. All we're doing is retreading stuff. Now there are times and places where lore and mythology lend itself to that. And you can see those. And then there's other ones where it's like, I'll just get a younger version that looks like this guy and stick him in there and let's put the familiar name on it. And I'm like, no, I love Rambo. And I think, be honest with you, to a certain degree, all of the First Blood, all the Rambo movies were good. Everyone that Sylvester Stallone is in. But that was a time and place for that. And it ain't now anymore. Go watch Tulsa King. I mean, you want to see Sylvester Stallone in something good? Go watch Tulsa King. William, I think that's what hurt this. Well, shit, a lot of things hurt that franchise. Hurt the Expendables franchise. They relied too much on 80s. And the nostalgia instead of trying to promote. And you know what? To their credit,
that's kind of counter to the whole premise of the franchise.
The franchise should have been 2 movies. Their premise, it worked for 2 movies, 1.5 movies.
No, second one's the best one, guys. Second one's by far the best one.
After you're done with the Expendables 2, that's it. That's when it's time to come up with a new idea. Because while I'm watching Expendables 2, I'm like, I need no more of this. Once I get out of this theater, I have had my fill. This was fun. Do not do it. They fucking did a 3 and they did a 4. 4 was brutal. 4 was something I would do if I wanted to punish you. I'm like, you know what? I don't like you. Here, let's sit down and watch this shit. So yeah, what's with nobody's coming up with any new ideas. And then when they do come up with new ideas, I gotta be fair. Nobody goes and sees them. It's like, tired of both of you guys. The indie movies and the movies that are really original, nobody goes and sees, and then they turn around and make, okay, we'll just stick with Rambo. Like, how far are we gonna go back with Rambo? Is he no longer gonna be a Vietnam vet? Oh, jeez, yeah, whatever.
Why do we need more Rocky movies when we have the Creed movies? Yeah, it's kind of quiet.
To be honest with you, that is, and he's not involved in those anymore.
Well, yeah, that's been kind of quiet since Creed 3 too. But I mean,
and once that's run its course, that's it. Let these things run their course and go into something else, man.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with Rocky. It seems like they've kind of hit like the perfect, like Balboa. It seemed like that was okay, like the perfect, because it rectified the disappointment of Rocky 5. So it seemed like, okay, that was the perfect kind of endpoint. Then they did Creed. Okay. Then that was like this unexpected hit with the spinoff. It's like, okay, that's a perfect endpoint. Then Creed 2 brought Drago back. Like, okay, that's a perfect endpoint. And then Creed 3 is also too. It's like, okay, Rocky's like it's like Cobra Kai. It's like, it had like this 20-year period of dormancy, and now it's like we're on fire than ever.
Well, they actually took it in a different direction. All Cobra Kai just bought back like 60-year-old dudes. William said the test audiences didn't realize Will was a star after watching it. First of all, it's a test audience. If you've ever sat on a test screening,
how do you not know Will Smith is a star when you watch a Will Smith movie? This is why I didn't even bring. I don't know how clear all this was. Whether audience it doesn't matter. Go look at the poster for iRobot. It's Will Smith. So I don't even know why he's even bringing this up, to be honest with you. What was the purpose of bringing this up? It doesn't change anything. You're still not the star of iRobot. Will Smith is. You were never the star of iRobot. I don't know what test audience what they sat through. I know if you sent me to a test audience and I see Will Smith, then I know he's the star. Unless you show me a bunch of out of context footage for an unnamed movie with a work name, and all you show me is out. Because remember, test screenings are not complete movies all the time. So maybe they showed that test audience footage where Will Smith was not predominantly in it. Then I could go for it. But if you saw something complete footage and at the moment I see Will Smith is on the screen, when's the last time Will Smith wasn't the star of whatever he was in? He's even the star of Independence Day, and there's a whole bunch of mofos in that movie. Oh, that was his breakout. Well, you say maybe it's like Bad Boys.
Bad Boys was his breakout.
Independence Day was like what solidified his breakout.
Once again, I don't understand why Alan Taylor's bringing it up, because it doesn't matter. Will Smith is the star. A test screening that's not relevant. It's not. Will Smith is the star of the movie. Alan Tudyk was probably hired after Will Smith, so I don't know. And once again, when we bring up test screenings to the general audience, that's a conversation ender for me, because depending on what you're talking about, I don't know what you saw. You could have something like Predator Badlands that we saw. We had stuff that was not there, right? Because it was still in production.
So you had like shots where it's like
green screen and
placeholder, like scene
insert, scene here, something like that. And I've been in the test screenings where we whole people were missing, and we didn't even get to name of the movie. They don't always give you the name of the movie.
Well,
Sometimes they say, "How do you feel about this?"
Well, remember when we got the Superman and Lois, the kind of the last couple of the screeners for that. Those were work in progress ones. So for those of you who've seen how the last couple of Superman and Lois, like William and I, we saw those. And it's got parts that were like Superman's or other characters are flying around. And it'll just like say like Jordan here, Jonathan here, Clark here, and just have like this little dot zooming around, or it'd have like a green screen behind Lex. When he's supposed to have like a big mountain or big the Smallville mine behind him, and like Doomsday that wasn't fully rendered in parts. So,
well, sometimes they'll bring you into something that doesn't have a name, doesn't have a completed title, and it's a couple scenes put together, and it by the work print name that they're giving you.
I've had a couple before I've gotten screeners where it's where they told me in advance, like, okay, let's like just bear in mind when you write about this. This is there are a couple areas where like the green screen isn't like fully finalized, so don't like write, okay, the effects look horrible or anything. That's happened, not a whole lot, but like a couple times I've gotten, and I take that into consideration. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna like bash on it, because it's
a lot of times they'll bring you in. The producer and the director are going over something, and they want to know how it's going to work. They haven't even added it to the film yet, so they put together a work print scene and they add it to some other composite stuff, and then they bring you in to take a look at it. What do you think about this? They want your reaction to that particular thing, because do we keep this in the movie, or is it something we can expand upon? A lot of those things are like that. So I don't know what you got, what anybody could glean from a test grading, because A, most of the time it's not even a complete movie, and B, it doesn't matter. Will Smith, if you're in a movie with Will Smith and there's a handful of people that are going to supersede him as a star, all due respect to Alan Tudyk, you're not one of them. I don't care how you test it. It's just the way it is. But what about Rogue One and the thing prequel? Rogue One is part of you're not running out the same people. Actually, Rogue One was the difference between a lot of the other stuff, whereas we're not even bringing the Skywalkers into it. Rogue One was
very, very briefly in parts. Yeah.
I mean, there's not a Skywalker in there till the end of the movie. And that's
well,
Leia, and you don't even know that.
Well, I mean, technically, Darth Vader is a Skywalker.
Yeah, whatever. So no, you can't. Like I said, sometimes it works. Most of the times it doesn't. Rogue One you're talking about one of the 2 or 3 exceptions. Star Trek being the other one. But when you're talking about Rambo is not Star Trek. Rambo is not Star Wars. Not even fucking close. So you can't compare one to the other. You can run out of fuel with certain things. The Expendables is not Star Wars. The Expendables is not Alien. You see what I mean? There are levels to this, and you have to understand where you're at when you're trying to compare them. You can add on. There's 1,000 things I can add on to a Star Wars things, and I'm not Star Trek, and I'm not recycling and retreading. There's nothing I can add on to Rambo because it's about Rambo. So there you go. I hope that helps. Wait, what did you talk? Series of Bible. I've only seen one episode. That is with Melanie Scarpano is in it. So I do know of it, and I actually that's in my queue. I liked it so far. I like it.
Well, that's like a series? Like,
yeah.
Oh, so the show was called Television Series Revivals and Film Revival. Oh, so does it go in? Is it like a docu-series that goes into like times that shows and movies have been revived?
The show revivals is what I'm talking about, Aaron. I don't know about the movie revivals.
Yeah, is that on Netflix or what's it? Yeah.
I think it's on. Is it Netflix or Hulu, Aaron? I can't remember. It's all one haze for me. I got so much. I need to take 3 or 4 days off and just watch all the shit in my queue.
Yeah, here's a good one from Aaron. This was a little bit of news today. Denzel Washington said he doesn't even care. Well, didn't he win for Malcolm X?
He's won 2. No, he's won 2. He won 1 for Glory and he won 1 for Training Day.
Okay, so he's won now. Yeah, I think like when you're like at his, it's easy to, once you've kind of gotten like the level of acclaim he's got, it's kind of like, let's brush that off. It's like, I mean, he's not hurting for work. He doesn't need an Oscar to get work.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with Harrison Ford. It's like these guys are bigger than the Oscars.
Yeah, and I'd love to like see an interview with Harrison Ford, like being asked, just about like just in general, like what are your thoughts on the Oscars? You know, yeah, I guarantee he'll answer the same way he does about Star Wars, like who shot first, and like I don't care. You get like the closest thing to like geeky Harrison Ford. You only get that when it's about Indiana Jones.
Okay, I doubt this. If you see the movie, Alan Tudyk's character is obviously an important part. He's a major part of it. At no point in time did I ever consider him the star of the movie, or at no point in time did I ever have any confusion of who the star was of the movie. I came to that movie because Will Smith was in it. Even more so that it being, I think it was, isn't that a Philip K. Dick? Is that another Philip K. Dick?
No, that's Alex Proyas. Well, it might was
no. The story. Is
yeah,
iRobot? Who wrote iRobot?
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand it. I'm just because I associate with Will Smith as being the headliner in just about every movie he's going to be in. There was no confusion for me.
Okay, and yes, it's based on Isaac Asimov.
Isaac Asimov, that's right. I can't believe I didn't know that. I can't see, Larry, where there was any confusion there. And plus, once again, we're throwing in the wild card of test screenings, which are not what a lot of people think they are. So, and there are different types of these things to where it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter what they thought in the test screening as far as who's the star is. That's probably not what the test screenings were for anyway. That's probably not, I wasn't there, but I'm guessing that's not what they were there to ascertain, And as far as him being part of the marketing, I don't care who the other guy is. If he's not at the level of Will Smith, that's who I'm marketing the movie to. That's like Wesley Snipes in the 90s. Didn't matter who else was in the movie. If Wesley Snipes was top billing, that's why the people were coming to see the movie. Now, if Alan Tudyk would maybe if his face is being seen, I don't know, but I don't understand where he's coming from with this. But
Fourth right. So yeah, I was looking for showtimes for this. I'm not seeing. I mean,
I thought it was a stream. Somebody told me it was on streaming day and date.
Yeah, I've been looking it up because I've been able to find like Amazon or anything, and it's not.
I'm not going to see it in a movie.
It's not screening locally anywhere for me. So, I guess it's like one of those like 50-50 kind of deals. But I'm not seeing like on Amazon or any place where you do this, PVOD. So
and it'll be on PVOD in 2 weeks. So I'll wait.
It looks pretty good from that trailer. I'm legit intrigued on this.
Well, they didn't do test screening. Just because you do or don't do a test screening doesn't mean you generally do test screenings while you're in production and out of sequence. So even if I had seen a piece of Joker 2, they could have showed me the part of Joker 2 that was amazing. Where they mess up
the part of Joker 2 that was amazing.
Yeah, and they can say, "What do you think of it?" That's what it was. Now, what you're talking about, I think, Larry, and what should have been adhered to more, and this is where when you make bad movies, the dailies, when every day the producer and the director and the financiers, everybody sits down and watches the dailies, which is basically where the movie is at any given point in time. That's where you make your adjustments. That's where you're like, okay, this isn't working. This isn't, they did daily viewings of parts of that movie as they filmed them every day and came out with that movie. So I don't know if a test audience, because you could have showed me, a block of Joker that may have been the best part of the movie. And I say, hey, it's great. And test audience to say it's great. And then I go see the rest of the movie and it's like, shit, so.
We were really tearing that apart. We both came out of that Demon Show. It's like, oh man, they did like everything they shouldn't have done. They did with Joker. Yeah,
that's they had to. If I'm say if I'm the bank or I'm the financier or I'm the person with money on the line, and you come in and I don't care how great Alan Tudyk tested. If you come in and say, you know what, the test screening say Alan Tudyk, I'm stopping you. I'm stopping you because I feel I know where you're going with this. No, I did not put my money. My money is not riding on him. There's a reason why we pay Will Smith $20 million a movie at that time. There's a reason he's the hook. We marketed about him, period. The sentence that I think, if you come in, I think we should market it with Alan Tudyk. Stop, turn around, and get out. And that's no disrespect to Alan Tudyk, but he's not the name. He's not. There's no way your draw is Will Smith, and you can't think about a test screening being the general public who knows who Will Smith is. Especially when you're talking about an actor and a character who's not even in the movie face-wise. So, yeah, it doesn't matter how – Will Smith is the star of that movie. Will Smith is the star of that movie, and that's who you marketed, period. I don't think there's any circumstances where you market iRobot as anything else as a Will Smith movie. I can't. And I saw that movie as it came out. The only time you would have that kind of discussion is in a movie like Philadelphia, where I have a Tom Hanks and a Denzel Washington. You could market that movie through either one of those characters because they're both the draw. See what I mean? So you know who the draw is in iRobot, period. You know where your marketing dollars and emphasis has to go. I can't see how, and I like Alan Tudyk. He's a tremendous performer. I'm not bashing him. But at that 2004, Will Smith, that's automatic, man. I've only seen one episode of the TV version, Aaron. I'm sorry. Man, you guys have seen a lot of shit that I can't. At the time.
By the way, I just looked up Red Sonja. So this is from the Wikipedia page. The film was released theatrically in the United States for 1 day only on August 13, 2025, which will be followed by release on video on demand and on August 29th by Samuel Goldwyn Films. So,
oh shit, that's like 2 weeks from now. Maybe we'll watch it on a party.
I could probably get a screener for that if I reach out.
Well, you don't have to. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Today's it's the 14th today. It's what?
Yeah, but what if I don't want to wait till the 29th?
Hey, have at it, homie. I wouldn't mind seeing it sooner, but I'm not going to go out of my way. Warner Brothers is going to be reporting focus on original films moving forward after the success of Sinners and Weapons in F1. All right, not every movie is going to be Sinners, Weapons in F1, and you also have to realize one of those movies made made a lot of money. The other one made really good money, but Warner Brothers is, I'm glad they're going to make more movies like that, but they're still going to have the lion's share of their movies are going to be recognizable IPs because that's what's going to bring you in, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is there going to be not that I'm the target audience for it, but is there going to be a Barbie sequel? I would think.
I don't know. I haven't heard from Greta Gerwig. She's working she's doing a whole lot of shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, her, because I actually think she's pretty overrated as a filmmaker, so I don't really care either way. She comes
Greta Gerwig?
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion because I've only I
think she watching Barbie is like, honestly, she kind of has.
Well, she makes William repel it.
Yeah, she does, and she kind of has the subtlety of a brick. So
Lady Bird, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to see him. Little Women, nope. Barbie. So yeah, she makes. I can't really. You see more of her stuff than I have, so I have to.
Well, I've seen. I haven't seen Little Women, but I've seen Barbie and a few other things, and yeah. But I was kind of wondering because Barbie, I'm not the audience for it, but it made them a metric fuck ton of money, so you would think they'd want to capitalize on that.
I think Warner Brothers wants to make a Barbie, but if Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig aren't involved, then it's not happening. So I think they would have to wait around for them. Who knows? I would say they could also have a Joker situation too, where it comes out and it's garbage. Test audience has it. Yeah, listen, test audience. There's a purpose for these things. It's a lot of times it's an in-production tool that they use to get people who are outside of the business opinions about certain parts of the movie to see if they're going to work or whether they should drop them or not, or big swaths of the movie to where, we're about to spend a whole bunch of money on post-production on this thing we shot for dirt cheap, but we think we can make it work in post-production. We're going to show you that. What do you guys, what's your reaction to it? Are you? Oh shit, you can't go. Then they'll give you a list of questions about, what did you think about that? What did you respond about that? Would you think this, if something like this being absent of a movie would be a big deal given out of con? There's a lot of things that they ask you about these things, and they're not, and then sometimes there are full blown test screenings but they'll show you the length of the movie, but there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been put in yet. So there's a purpose. Usually the purpose is to get feedback to the studio about something that they're working on in production. It's not necessarily for us, you know what I mean? And they explain that to you, just like when we saw Badlands. They explain it, and when we saw the first 20 minutes of the Long Walk, which, by the way, I found out we got to come up with a cool promotion for that. There are certain things in here that we're not going to show you. So I know when I see The Long Walk, there's certain things that in that little thing that I'm not going to see. I know when I see Badlands, there's certain things that were cut out, because it wasn't ready yet. It was literally still in production. So that's what those kind of things are. And I think people take test screening reactions as if they're the whole movie reactions. And I'm like, no, they're there for a reason. I think the audience would have hated the end of Joker 2 and could have been, yeah, but the audience, they probably never saw that. They probably never saw that. The dailies, the director top up, they saw it. And here's the thing: even if test audiences saw that, though, there's no guarantee that they will feel the way we feel about it. Listen, what if I was in the test audience for Weapons? Given what you all think about Weapons, what if I was in the test audience of Weapons? I see Weapons as in out of context, and I come out saying, "Whoa, this is shit." So you not only is it out of context and in pieces, but you can't really take for granted that the person coming out of those is on the same wavelength as you are, because clearly you guys loved Weapons, and I thought it was all right, and I could have done without it. So see what I mean? And now that gets into the zeitgeist. Now I heard somebody came out of Weapons and they said it's like, no, that's not what you should come out of those things with. So. I saw a little bit of that. I was watching something else. It was early in the morning. Hot take: Joker 2. Okay, we're not even going to finish that sentence. And you're right, the little weird for 2 days. Yeah, he's not that kind of guy. He seems like he's on a roll now. But Alan, now you may not always see his face and the stuff that he does,
well,
and I think
he voices a robot in Superman.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he does where it's a voice only. So I guess maybe he's not getting that kind of recommendation. I don't know.
One thing I think one of the first things I remember seeing him, like actually seeing him in, like a voice role, seeing him in, he was, what was the name of the like the guy, the one baseball manager who gave Jackie Robinson a really hard time. His name is in 42 with Chadwick Boseman. He didn't
play Vance Ritchie, did he?
No, it was Harrison Ford, but he was the manager of the other team, who was like he was just shouting all kinds of crap at him when he was coming up to bat, and he was that dude. And I think that's the first thing I remember like seeing him in, because I'd seen because he's done voice work and all, and he's done voice work like a DC animated movies, but as far as seeing him, I think that's the first thing that stood out is him playing the really racist.
I know Ty Cobb was in that movie. I that's been like 8 years ago. Actually,
first thing that was my, for probably a lot of people's intro to Chadwick Boseman, because I was even before Black Panther.
My introduction to him was Black Panther.
I'd seen that. Actually, they did a re-release of that during COVID. When theaters like just starting to open up, and they did a release of that at my theater, like the week or so after he passed away. So 42 is really that's probably one of my favorite baseball movies. 42.
The Crow 1994 was just Brandon Lee. Yeah, even though Ernie Hudson was a big star at that point, Tony Todd had been Candyman twice. He'd been Candyman twice, I believe.
At that point,
yeah. So but Brandon Lee was the star of that movie.
He would have been. Let me kind of rephrase this, because this kind of accounts for like what William says. He would have been, it would have just been like Brandon on the posters. Then after the tragedy, then that really that got emphasized like twice as much. Yeah.
Yeah, because they weren't gonna. They were not going to do a huge media campaign for The Crow.
Well, I mean, because like you said, and that's something Ashley said we didn't talk about when she was on, but yeah, I told her what you'd said, that you think that other than Brandon's death, that movie bombs. And she said, "Oh yeah, I agree."
Which, and I hate
Yeah,
saying that.
yeah,
I fucking hate that is. I believe that to be true because The Crow is a magical fucking moment for me. It is a magical moment. Meeting J.O. Barr in like 1989 when I met him and got my Crow signed, and having that introduced to me, I will never forget. I can tell you exactly who put what comic book store employee Paul Ufgust. If you're watching, Paul, um, he handed that book to me in 1989, and it changed that along with Sandman, along with anything. It changed the way I viewed comic book because prior to Vertigo and things like The Crow, I was superhero guy. I was 14. That's all I was doing. But as I got to read these type of things, so when I heard there was a Crow movie, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I don't know what to expect. This is not in the era that we live and breathe in now. This is in the 90s. And they mentioned that movie was first mentioned in 1991 and then 1992. And it went in production in late 1992. And then it was there. It was bam. But before it was there, the next thing I would hear about the Crow movie is him dying during the making of it. And when you see The Crow is the perfect movie for the time it was released. It fits, it defines it. If the mid 90s were a sound, that The Crow is it. And for that movie to have the success it did, in my opinion, based on the son of Bruce Lee being killed during it, it angers me. But I have to understand that that's the truth. Now, if people want to have revisionist history and say, no, The Crow it would have made tons of money because it's a great movie. You know what? I'm not going to fight you because I wish that were the reality, but it's just not the case. It is an amazing movie. It did deserve to make a lot, but that movie, they were not planning. That movie got a budget because the all around that movie and the speculation about that movie got more money approved to finish that movie. They spent the majority of The Crow's budget was spent putting Brandon Lee's face on other people's bodies coming up the stairs. Because that first scene where he's coming back into his apartment, that's not him.
It's Chad Stahelski.
Yeah, and that's technology. We're talking 1993-ish shit. We're not talking 2025. We're not even talking 2000 technology. We're talking about some brand new, sort of brand new stuff that movie did not have the budget to do. And that got done, and that movie got made. And man, it sucks. It sucks. Everything about that movie, other than the accomplishment of the movie itself, sucks. It sucks that he died at 27. It sucks that I think that this movie wouldn't have made him a star. I think he was 2 or 3 movies away from being a megastar. I think he was 2 or 3 movies away from being a go-to guy for that type of movie. I think he was a couple movies away from no longer just being Bruce Lee's son. And to have it cut off like that that's the definition of tragedy. But man, The Crow. If we do a top 10 of my favorite comic book movies of all time, as far as accuracy goes, Watchmen is up there. The Crow is up there. The only thing The Crow doesn't do, the bird doesn't talk. And to be honest with you, I would have had the bird talk. I know that sounds ridiculous as it's coming out of my mouth, but if you read the book and the scene, especially the scene where he's being killed out in the park and his girlfriend's being raped and they've just shot him in the head and he's like, oh man, look, his head's still smoking, and the crows tell him, just don't look at it, we're gonna get him, turn away, you don't need to see this, I'm gonna take care of everything. If there would have been a voice in that bird, I think that would have added to what was already a damn near perfect movie. Other than that, The Crow is probably one of the most accurate movies ever. Brandon Lee, like I said, he's a star now, but the notoriety, when you hear about Brandon Lee, what is the first thing you think about when you think of Brandon Lee? Unfortunately, it's not what the potential of what he could have been. It's what happened, and then the whole curse thing was going. The Jeet Kune Do curse is because Bruce Lee gave secrets. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Bruce Lee died of what? An aneurysm, and Brandon Lee died of an accident. This is no fucking curse. It happens, So, Tarantino loves Joker too. You know what? I have not Joker 2 is not exclusively hated in my circle. So,
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I really don't like it. And I didn't like it coming out of it, but now it's like the more.
I thought it was so. You know what? I think the movies that hurt me the most are the ones where the potential isn't met. When I know there's a good movie in there somewhere, I wish I could have busted in there and said, "Okay, this is not the movie we're doing. You want to do the musical? What part wasn't even? No, it was the fact that we didn't expand. I am against people saying, "Well, we don't need a sequel." No, you know, I don't want bullshit. But if you have a story to tell, then continue to tell your story. There was a story to tell with the next Joker movie. They just didn't tell it. I don't know what the fuck they did. I didn't need to be all of Arkham the entire movie. I didn't need to be in the court. I needed him to get the hell out of here. I needed to see a Commissioner. I needed to see him. I needed to see him evolving, just like I saw him evolve in Joker. I needed that evolution to continue, and I just didn't see it in this one. It was so disappointing. My Little Pony, the movie watch along. The link is tethered to the top of the. You're gonna have to pay for that one because we're gonna have to explain why the fuck we're even doing that. And with this whole brony thing, I don't get that either. But
why do you think? I'm kind of curious. Like, why do you think that the the Joker 2 like did so bad commercially?
Because of the exact reasons I just put out.
But nobody knows. There's no backlash to what you can't have a backlash till you see the movie. So
but enough people saw the movie. The same people who saw Joker and went out and spread that curiosity and that awe and that passion for that movie were the same people who went out and spread the exact opposite, like me. When I saw that movie and I lit it up. So if you're watching, the first wave of people are going to bring the other people into the movie, and they did not.
Boy, did they overspend. They went from like a budget of like 50 to 200 million between movies, and that bit them in the ass big time.
Before you stream, I found something today that I implore you to pull up, and highly doubt it will get copyright stricken. It's short too. Look up. I've seen this, and I think I will get copyright stricken for it. I know exactly what he's talking about, and it's weird. Hey, listen. You know what? The worst they could do is take down my stream. But you just did a super chat for $20. I don't think it's going to cost me more than $20. Let's do it before we go.
I've been asked that for a while because I'm honestly, even if it did like underperform the first one, I didn't think it would. I mean, the fact that it underperformed it by so much, I mean, it lost like 80% of its audience from movie 1 and 2. I mean, it didn't just underperform it. I mean, it outright cratered.
But once you started hearing, and remember that movie was pre-screened. I did one of the pre-screenings of that one. You had, once enough people saw that movie to where the rest of the people were not going to. Once the vibe was put out, and it didn't take long for that to get out because there was a lot of stuff about a lot of people weren't taking the musical seriously to begin with. But once enough people saw that movie and went out and into the environment to spread the word about that movie was dead on arrival. That movie was dead on arrival. Whereas the exact opposite happened in 2019 when Joker came out. They went out, when you left Joker, you went to the next person you could, within the sound of your voice, and you spread that good vibe. The exact opposite happened immediately when Joker 2 came out. So yeah, it just wasn't a very good movie. And like I said, it did not evolve, it did not evolve from the story that it was.
I get all of that, but for all of that to like poison the well like that quickly,
that's what happens. That happens all the time.
I don't think I've ever seen it happen like that.
There's about 30 or 40 movies I could roll off that happens. That's what the whole when you put yourself out there and we promote these movies, there's a good and a bad side. If the movie is good and accepted well, then it travels like wildfire. If it's bad, it travels like wildfire. It happens all the time. I've seen when movies. It happened with The Crow. It happened with The Crow. The new Crow, not the classic, the new one. It doesn't take long. If you do a pre-screening on Tuesday and the movie's garbage, you're done by the weekend. You're done by the weekend. And remember, you have preview screenings on Thursday night in the afternoon. You're done by the weekend. You're done. If the movie, it doesn't take that long to get out there. And now we got this cool thing I invented. Al Gore, stop it. Stop trying to steal my thunder. The internet, it happens immediately. Unfortunately, you know,
I get what you're saying, that the word spreads, but again, for the drop off to be as dramatic as it was, though, it's like it can.
Why wouldn't it be though?
I can
Ask
see there
yourself,
being
why wouldn't it
drop off, but again, we're talking about like 8 out of 10 people who saw the first one didn't see the second one.
If you hear
that is gargantuan.
That when you hear what people were saying about this movie coming out of it, it's surprising that it wasn't 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10 was generous. And the movie was so detached from what made the first one special, that got around immediately. I'm surprised Joker drew any money that weekend. But yeah, that's it. That's 80% drop. That's 80% drop from the previous one. If you get the inkling that what made the first one special is not in the second one, that's easy. That's an easy explanation.
I'm going to read this off from like this is the reception section, like under box office for the Wikipedia page for it. Which, by the way, it says apparently the net loss was 144.25 million. Boy, they felt that. Okay, so 5 weeks ahead of release, Box Office Pro projected that the film would, quote, easily gross at least 100 million in its opening weekend in the United States and Canada, and outgross its predecessor's debut of 96.2 million, with estimates of 115 to 145, despite it receiving mixed reviews. So, yeah, it had the Venice Film Festival premiere, like the first one. 2 weeks after, projections dropped to around 70 million, and the week of release, estimates became 55 to 60. After it made 20 million on its first day, including an estimated 7 million from Thursday night previews, projections dropped again to 49 million for the weekend. It went on to debut at 37.7 million, which was 64.6% of its total gross from 4,102 theaters, topping the box office. Little consolation there.
Becoming what you're reading there? You're seeing its potential crumble real quick before it even hits.
I get but again, for it to crumble that, not just that fast, but that I just can't think of another example, like something like, ironically, the other one they'd cite here is like several outlets compared the film's opening weekend gross to that of other recent high profile box office bombs, The Marvels, and Madam Web is like, I don't know if that's the best comparison, because Madam Web that was the most DOA anything has ever been.
The word was out. You may not have heard it as soon as I did, and people around me, the word was out that this wasn't a very good movie, and that it was not what Joker was. Everybody I talked to, by the time we even got to our pre-screening, had an opinion.
And here's the Deadline Hollywood attributed the opening to fans of the original not wanting to see a musical. See,
that's another thing.
I don't know if that really that.
Yeah, dude, you know how many people are like, "Here's a musical? You fucking serious?" Even that was not the problem with Joker, but musical. Listen, fairly or unfairly. Let's hold on. Detach our opinions for what we think about musicals and animation. People put them in categories fairly or unfairly, and once they get that into their head, they don't dive in deeper. They don't dive into the content. The general audience generally doesn't give a fuck. If they think musicals are silly, you and I aren't going to be able to make the case to them, right or wrong. So that was a big part of it, and the word of mouth of the movie. But yeah, musical. I think musical started the erosion before the movie was even done in production. Even though the musical part elements weren't bad and they didn't ruin the movie. I mean, I don't think the movie needed them. I don't think they helped the movie. But
here's a little bit more in that kind of in the discussion here of the underperformance. A source close to the production deemed the release a complete audience rejection. Yeah, it's pretty hard to argue.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Another described it as, quote, a very expensive art film whose intended audience was Joaquin Phoenix. And another, according to another source, Phil spent the weekend release of Joker Folie à Deux secluded on a ranch property he owns. Yeah, that's, keep it, shut all that out. It's probably for the best. A source directly involved with the film acknowledged that no one could reach Phillips, and that his rejection of fan expectations sealed his failure and harmed the DC brand. And that's really interesting, that last part too, because we've talked about, like, Warner Brothers, again, the self-inflicted harm on but like I don't know. I think Joker that's a little bit like kind of like on its own little island. Joker too. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
I
really
don't think
did
it
it.
hurt the DC
I don't think
guy.
that did anything positive or negative for DC as a
Yeah.
cinematic brand. But
Yeah, but
thing is,
unfortunately, the word was out on that movie real quick.
the box office analyst Jeff Bach of Exhibitor Relations called the film, funny we were just talking about this, a Speed 2 level disaster with Warner Brothers massively overspending on the film, owning it for audiences to show very little interest. Seemingly as a result, the filmmakers make creative choices that did not align with fan expectations.
Yep. That's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell.
Again, it's like I can get on, I can comprehend every bit of this except for just how it just at the size of the drop off and the speed the drop off happened at. It's like I get the drop
surprised it
off.
wasn't bigger and faster.
I get the drop off. I get the fact of the drop off. I just don't. It didn't. I mean, I would have thought like the floor for it to like underperform the first one would have been like, okay, it does about half what the first one does.
No, because the first one had a phenomena around it. This one did not. And like I said, the word got out about this movie real quick, real fast, and then you had the musical part of it. You may not think that made a difference. Trust me, I did the pre-screenings of this one, and I did the surveys of this one, and it was ugly. It was really, really ugly. The same people, and I made sure because I keep a list of the people who I save a spot in these audiences for the people who went for me the first one, right? Oh my God. You want to see some people who wanted their time back. They had nothing good. And those people went out into the world.
And again, all of this, I'm not saying this is like I've made clear I'm not.
You should not be surprised at that drop off.
Apologist for the movie by any means.
You should not be surprised at that drop off.
I've definitely made my criticism of the Joker folly do very clear. It's just that again, it's like I've never. Ironically, the only other thing I've seen, I think I could think of recent memory that's like where the sequel dropped by that kind of percentage from the original was the Marvels, where they went from $1 billion to 200 million.
Yeah, and technically that's a sequel in very light name only. Megan 2.0. Well, yeah, Megan 2.0. Did that bomb?
I mean, it did okay, but it didn't. Well, again, they don't care anymore. They're just putting it on DVD.
Yeah, I mean, not really. All right, guys. I think we've we never really had anything to talk about that anyway.
Fort says I just never watched the movie, hearing it was a musical.
He's a lot, and I hear that over and over and over. I heard that from people who I invited and gave a free seat to go see this movie, and that's what I could show you the chats and the text that I got. And that was a lot of people that just.
Is Todd Phillips? I mean, is he like in? Because he hasn't done. I don't think he's really done anything. Is he basically in director's jail now?
No,
because he definitely wasn't after the first one.
No, I mean he was. Everybody has that movie. Everybody has one of those. I mean, Denis Villeneuve will have one if he does movies long enough. Everybody, Spielberg's had a. West Side Story was a bomb.
I'm looking something real quick here. Okay. So. For instance, from the first one, Deadline Hollywood estimated the film. Now, we're talking about like what this is all. I mean, very foggy whenever you like talk about like here's what the trade said the total profit anything was, but they estimated the net profit for the first Joker was $437 million, and the loss on Joker 2 was $144 million. Okay, so they did actually keep. Because I was wondering, like, was the second one such a bomb that basically like wiped out the profit from the first one? It's like no, they lost a lot. They still had like $250 million of the profit from 1 to 2, but still, that's just
I'm looking for this.
You just don't see that though, or like a bomb in the second one is such a bomb that just the chasm between the two of them is just so. I can't think again other than the Marvels of like something where the gap of success to failure from 1 to 2 was like that stark.
Yeah, but there was a lot of other reasons for the Marvels. The main reasons was that, and like I said, you shouldn't. I mean, if you saw where that movie was going, an 80% drop should not surprise.
God, you. Joker 2, it didn't even break. It did 58, but it didn't even break 60 million domestic.
Yeah. And the idea to go with a musical really did hurt that movie. And I'm not saying one way or another because I heard it, I'm like, are you serious?
Well, because I remember them talking a bit too about it in the lead up to when they described it as musical. Then they kind of like maybe they were feeling some heat from that because then some interviews later they tried to kind of walk it back and said, no, when we say musical, we kind of mean like rock opera, like musical, like A Star Is Born kind of thing. So maybe they
that
were
wouldn't
trying
have
to
necessarily killed it. If it was a good musical, maybe you could have got people to come back to it, but not. It just wasn't a good movie, and that combined with the fact that once you, it's like reboot, man. You hear reboot, a lot of people are saying,
well, and that's the thing with also like the choices they make in it. It might as well be a reboot.
All right, so here we go, Larry. This on the screen?
Okay. Oh, they did a Saturday morning cartoon version of Watchmen.
Yeah, let's get demonetized.
I have never heard of this.
Oops, hold on.
This is the intro.
I
don't know. Could you do like this without watering it down big time?
I don't think so, but hey. Because how are you going to show Dr. Manhattan? Never mind.
There's that.
No, Adrian. Looks like the Reds are polluting the city lake.
Oh, this already.
We call the Watchmen. Strong together, united forever, they're the best of friends. But when trouble's about, you'd best watch out for the Watchmen.
Now is their leader, and he loves to party down. Rorschach's friends to the animals.
Yeah, but he's not clowning around.
Why not?
Beat up some thugs, say no to drugs, be in bed by 10. But if trouble's about, you'd best watch out for the Watchmen.
Spectre's a sensation, you should really never miss her. The comedian's your biggest fan now.
If I could only get that kiss.
OCM, your bestest, couple of crimes, some superstars. John can give you cancer, and they'll turn into a car.
Strong together, united forever, come and meet your friends. Have no fear, time's up, time's here for the Watchmen.
This can't be real. Oh my God, this is real. This can't be like a real animated series.
I think I didn't find anything more than that. Is that what you were talking about, Larry? Yeah. Okay. Apparently we hit the that's
gotta be like a spoof or something. That can't possibly be.
It's a spoof. There's no. Yeah, they did Warner Brothers and
I mean, just the whole thing about they're best of friends and like Rorschach with his like Dudley Do-Right voice. Like, no, come on, this isn't Watchmen at all.
Lady Gaga is a top tier actress now. She's an Academy Award level winning.
Oh yeah, but she yeah. But
she wasn't good in this movie, but she can only do what you want.
She wasn't good in House of Gucci either.
No, she got nominated for that. She got nominated for Star Is Born too, which she should have.
That was pretty good. But she's I don't know.
Yeah.
She's actually in less of Joker 2 than I was expecting also, because that's the other thing. I think it really probably undermined people's expectations. You were kind of expecting this to be sort of like Bonnie and Clyde, where like it was really going to emphasize them as a couple, and she's kind of in sporadically.
This was better than Batman. No, I'm just kidding. That's kidding. Howard the Duck box office, that was just a mess. That's like I said, these are not comparable, by the way. There are different ways disasters came about. All right, guys. We'll like I said, I think what I want to do tomorrow night, unless there's some major news, and even if there's some major news, is I want you guys to all think of your favorite jump scares. Top 5. Ooh. I already have mine. You probably know what number one of mine if you've watched the show long enough, but there are more.
I think I know.
But some of you give you about 24 hours, maybe 20 hours to come up with it. So we're gonna do favorite jump scares or the ones that got you the most, and then we'll discuss those tomorrow, and then whatever news is happening. So that is it for tonight for this substitute generic show. I will see you tomorrow night with your favorite jump scares. Please like, subscribe, donate, whatever you want to do, share. I'm going to be working on some stuff here. I got some news today in regards to the Sci-Fi Center. That's good news. And I was
talking about like the actual establishment.
The actual establishment. There is going to be something that is going to massively benefit me on the retail level. That is going to happen within the next week. So, and I will break that news this weekend once it's official. It's official now. It's just a matter of it happening, and it's a really good thing. Yeah. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good morning. Talk to you later. Bye.
See you guys.